Hi, I'm Erin Bassett, and I'm going to show you how to make a Dreamcatcher using your ScanNCut. Start off by putting your cardstock onto your craft mat and loading it into your machine. Go ahead and click on Patterns, and then you'll click on that icon that has that flower and that package, and scroll down to find the doilies. And then just decide which doily you want to use. You can see there's 7 pages of them, so you can just keep on clicking the arrows through. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to change the dimensions of it. And once I get it set, I'll just click Set. And I'm going to move it over just a smidge. Then click OK, Cut, and Start. And it says it takes about 4 minutes to cut this one out. So there is our finished pattern all cut out, and now we can just take this over to our desk to continue working. So you're just going to want to carefully peel this up, and you can use a spatula if you need to, but just remove it really gently. And I'm just going to double check that it's the correct size for my hoop. I am using a 10-inch embroidery hoop, and I'm going to end up gluing this onto it. But first I'm going to cover it with fabric, and I'm just going to take my fabric and cut a little slit in it, and my pieces are probably about maybe 2 inches wide, if that. And of course I have a little helper, and I'm just going to make a couple strips of this, and that way I can get started wrapping my hoop. Once you're ready to get started, you're going to take some hot glue, or you can use fabric glue too, and you want to undo that little fastener thing. So you can just put some glue right there on the inside of the hoop, and I'm going to be covering both pieces of the hoop with the fabric using the same technique of just wrapping it around. So I'll just get started by pressing my fabric into the hot glue, careful to avoid burning your fingers, and then just start wrapping it all around and around and around until you're done. So when your hoop is all the way done, you can just glue that last little tail right down and trim off any extra that you have. And I just love how these hoops look all covered in fabric, so I like to play with putting it together and just checking that out. But the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to glue our paper doily that we just cut out onto the hoop, and we're going to glue it onto that inner hoop right there. So you're just going to use your hot glue or whatever fabric glue, whatever you had used, and just put little dots right along the edge of it, and then adhere it right to the fabric. So once you have that all finished, you could put it aside, and now we'll cut out some feathers. So you're going to go into ScanNCut Canvas and make sure you log in. And if you scroll down, there is a pattern for a feather that you can download. And then you'll open up a new project and click on that little icon that says SVG, and that'll allow you to import that feather file that you just downloaded. So once you get that file, you click OK, and there it is. And it's pretty big, and of course we don't want to use it quite this big. So we're going to resize it smaller, and then I duplicated it and I made 3 that were about 4 inches long, and then 2 that were just 3.5 inches long. Now I plan on cutting these feathers out of white cardstock, but if you're doing a pattern paper or anything, you can flip your feathers around so that you have them looking different and not all the same. So once your feathers are all situated, you're going to want to send it over to your ScanNCut, so you can name it if you want to, if you're going to save this file to your computer. And then when you're ready, just click download and choose where you're going to save it. I'm going to send it over to my ScanNCut with the ScanNCut transfer. So now I can go to my ScanNCut and click that ScanNCut transfer button, and it just retrieves it right over there. And now I'm ready to cut it out. So once I had all my feathers cut out, I decided to doodle on them, and I've just used a black pen to do that. Next, I took some strips of different types of ribbon, and I again just used my hot glue gun to glue those on the back side of my hoop. And then once those were all attached, I went ahead and attached my feathers using hot glue again. So now to finish it off, I got rid of the fastener because as you can see, it's not long enough now that I added all that fabric. So I just took a little piece of ribbon and threaded it through the little hardware that's on your hoop and tied it into a bow. For more information about ScanNCut, visit ScanNCut.com, and for more ideas and inspiration, visit erinbassett.com.